if you're like a lot of people, you probably have your own remedies for colds, coughs, and headaches. But what about joint pains, sunburns, even bad breath? One of America's most trusted medical institutions has put together a guide on staying healthy and treating health issues at home. The Mayo Clinic of Home Remedies goes on sale this week. And for more, we're joined by the book's editor-in-chief, Dr. Phillip Hagan. Dr. Hagan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
I'm just fascinated by this book because I love not having to go into the doctor if you don't have to. And some of these remedies are just really neat, and they're quick fixes that you can actually do at home, right? Easy stuff?
Right. Yeah, that was the point. And as medical costs rise and people are trying to spend their health care dollar a little more carefully, we thought there are some things you can do at home to keep you from having to go into the doctor.
All right, you may not go into the doctor for bad breath, but I love the information here. What's the quick fix for bad breath?
Well, I have had people come into my office for bad breath.
Really?
but good oral care is important, obviously.
Right.
But the fun thing that we found was that chewing on a little parsley at the end of a meal or at the end of the day can help keep your breath fresh.
I was going to think mint or something along those lines, but not the garnish. Eat the garnish before you let them take the plate away. And another thing is for warts to use duct tape. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
That works?
Well, that was a fun one. It works for some people. And what you have to do is cut out a little circle of duct tape, put it on the wart, keep it there for 6 days, then peel it off, soak your foot for about 15 minutes, and then rub it down with a pumice stone or an emery board. And if you keep at that, if you do it, it may take 2 weeks, it may take 2 months, but it'll...
What will be gone. These are just fascinating. Well, a lot of folks who watch this show may suffer from insomnia just because of these hours. So let's get to some of the home remedies for that. What would you suggest? I mean, one of them is to get on a schedule, correct?
Right. We know that the body has cycles that it goes through. All those circadian rhythms or daily rhythms. And there are sleepy times during those rhythms. So if you can figure out when your sleepy time is, that's the time it's going to be easiest to fall asleep. And if you stick with that, it'll be easier to fall asleep every night. So we try to talk to people about going to sleep at the same time, going to bed at the same time, going to sleep at the same time, and getting up at the same time.
What about avoiding large meals right before you go to bed? That will keep me up, I know.
Right. There are a number of things that are good to avoid, and some of those come in large meals. The large meal itself gets the stomach full. Our body's spending a lot of energy trying to digest the food. Alcohol helps us fall asleep, but we wake up early when we drink it, so it's not a good way to fall asleep. And of course, caffeine. If we go out for dinner and have a cup of coffee afterward, obviously that'll keep us up too.
And you say create a quiet, dark, cool environment. I guess that's optimal for sleeping?
The body seems to respond best to that. And we know that when we do studies of people that have background noise, you can get a little bit used to background noise, but if there's a lot of background noise, you don't really get used to it, and it does wake us up. A lot of times we're not even aware that we're waking up, but we are. So that quiet room, the dark room, light wakes us up, avoiding bright lights even from an alarm clock. So as alarm clocks get brighter and the displays get bigger, they create more light. And then for those of us who wake up and worry about being awake all night, we're staring at the clock all night. So if you just take that and turn it around or tip it over, that's exactly right.
So you don't have to look at it. And another one of your tips in this book, which is just absolutely fascinating, is don't try to fall asleep. What do you mean by that? The whole point is to try to go to sleep. How can you not try?
Right. Well, what we discover is that a lot of people try too hard, and then they get frustrated by it. So, again, if you can discover when that sleepy time during the day is, and that's typically somewhere between 10 and 2 a.m. for people. And then secondly, if you're lying down in bed and you've been there for more than about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, then get up because you're not falling asleep. Go do something until you feel sleepy, something quiet, typically like reading or listening to quiet music, and then when you start to feel sleepy, go into bed again.
Because that really trains your body to know that when you get into that bed, it's sleepy time.
Right. Yep. Gotcha. The only thing really we want people to do in bed is sleep.
All right. Heard it here from the doctor, Dr. Phillip Hagan. As always, we appreciate your time. This is great information. Thank you.
Thanks.
The Mayo Clinic's Book of Home Remedies goes on sale this week.